On Sunday, Pastor Bob talked about how we can be generous to impact the kingdom, to serve and love our community. And so at Central Community Church, we have a lot of ways that we get to be generous as a church body and as a congregation to love our community and also around the world. But today I've got Abby Richards, who is our missions coordinator, and we're going to talk about one specific way that this church has really stepped up and loved on our community. So thanks for being here, Abby.
Absolutely.
So one of these really cool ministries that we do is purchasing beds.
Yes.
For families that are trying to stay together. Can you give us a little bit of background on what this issue is and why it's so important?
Absolutely. So in order for kids to stay in a home, they must sleep on a bed. Not just a mattress on the floor. They have to have a frame and a mattress in order to be able to stay in their homes.
Right.
But it's also important for foster families to have those beds as well, because they cannot take extra kids in without having those beds as well.
Wow.
So it's very important for the kids to have beds. And so our main priority is to make sure that those kids have beds to sleep on at night and make sure that they have all of the things that they need to go with those beds as well.
That's really cool. So those families you were talking about at the beginning, those are maybe the families that are kind of on the cusp of losing their
Yes.
children into the system, right?
Yes.
And it's kind of the one last requirement.
It is. So those families that are being checked on by the family services that possibly could be in trouble of losing their children, the last thing that they have to have is a bed. So they could have everything else right, but if they don't have that bed, they could still have their children taken away from them.
That's amazing. So how did Central get involved in this? It's been a couple years since we've really started focusing on this, right?
Yes. We were partnering with a community-based organization that was helping meet needs within our community, and we noticed that beds were something that were popping up over and over again.
Oh, wow.
And so one of our members, Mark Larkin, took it upon himself to begin this bed ministry that started to get beds for children within the community.
Wow.
And we've just started to expand on that. So now we provide beds for pretty much anybody who needs a bed within the community. Those people who can't afford to have a bed and need a bed. But our main focus is on those kids, those kids that are in danger of being taken away, those kids that need a bed, no matter where they are, whether they're already in the system or whether they're in danger of going into the system. We want to make sure that they have somewhere to sleep at night.
That's really cool. So what are some of the ways that you've seen Central members in this congregation step up and just pour out generosity to this ministry?
So many ways. The Dollar Club has been so important in this. We got such a big donation from the Dollar Club in that initial collection 2 years ago when we really started this ministry, and it really took off. And it took over a year to use all of those funds, and we provided over 90 beds for kids in the community. And it was just recently we took another Dollar Club, and that money is continuing to go out into the community to provide beds for these kids.
Wow.
And we've also seen people donating. So we've had frames donated, we've had sheets and pillows donated, mattress pads, all the things that are essential in getting these kids the beds that they need. All of those items that we like to provide with each bed, which are the waterproof mattress pads, the pillows, and the sheets. And comforters as well, so that no family has to go and get the things that they need to go with the bed. We just go ahead and provide all of that.
That is so cool. And I hear kind of the stories in passing of like the storage unit that we have for the beds. It'll get really full because people have been so generous, and all of a sudden it's empty because we've been able to give them out. It's kind of this revolving door of this generosity that's actually being poured out actively, continuously into our community.
Yes, it is incredible how I can order beds one day, and then by the end of the week they're all gone, and I'm having to order again the next week.
That is so cool.
Because we can give out, one family might need 2 to 3 beds at a time, and I can get 3 to 4 families at a time that I'm needing to deliver to over and over again. And so we have this continuing revolving door, as you said, of these beds going out and coming in all the time.
That is really, really amazing. So if somebody wants to get involved in this ministry, what are some ways that they can jump on and be a part of this and be generous?
Yeah, we are always in need of people to deliver. That is one of the biggest things, is that we do have a small number of people who can deliver, and a lot of those people do work. And so when those last minute deliveries come around where a bed is needed to be delivered that day, a lot of the time we just don't have anyone to do it, and we're having to wait until there is someone available, or Sherry and I are having to run out and do the delivery
Yes.
ourselves. So just being able to volunteer your time in order to make those deliveries. We also do go out and buy the supplies, the pillows, the comforters, the sheets, those things that we do need a little bit of help occasionally going out and buying. Or just having donations,
Yeah.
you know,
I
getting
guess
those
that's probably an
donated.
important part.
Yes, absolutely. It does save our funds a little bit if we can have those kinds of things donated,
Yeah.
so that we can use the funds to go to the actual mattresses and frames.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. And this is just one of the ways that Central Community Church, the members of the church, are
Yes.
generous and just so selfless and sacrificial and loving. There's so many more stories, but that's one way. So thank you so much for sharing, Abby.
You're very welcome.
And we look forward to seeing how God's going to keep using this ministry.
Yes, thank you.